This is WRAL News, your #1 source for local news.
The civil trial of a Harnett County man who shot and killed his son-in-law comes to a close. The case has been the subject of a months-long WRAL investigation.
When you shoot somebody in the back means they're not doing anything to you at that moment.
He made the decision to pull the trigger 4 times. You know what that said to me? That he wanted Christian dead.
Today, the jury agreed with Christian Griggs' parents. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brad Johansson.
And I'm Deborah Morgan. Griggs was shot to death by his father-in-law, Pat Chisenhall. He claimed it was self-defense, but today a jury found him responsible in the wrongful death trial. WRAL investigative reporter Cullen Browder has been following the trial and joins us now to describe what the verdict means. Cullen?
Well, Deborah and Brad, this was a civil trial. No criminal charges were ever filed, so this means the jury found Reverend Chisenhall liable in the killing. Jurors listened to a week of conflicting testimony, and this afternoon they took just 90 minutes to reach a verdict.
Do you answer issue 2? Did defendant commit battery upon Christian Griggs in self-defense? No.
Harnett County jurors determined Pastor Pat Chisenhall was not justified when he shot and killed his son-in-law, Christian Griggs.
The citizen of Harnett County saw the truth in the courtroom today.
The Griggs family gave tearful hugs after spending years trying to shine a light on 4 shots to Christian's back.
Use your common sense. Shooting somebody 4 times in the back while they are bent over or laying down, while they're unarmed and while they're wounded, that is not self-defense.
The jury didn't buy Chisenhall's story that all the shots were fired as Griggs tried to climb through a window, threatening the pastor and his daughter.
Well, I think they're very disappointed at the jury's decision. They believe that he was acting in self-defense, and it certainly would have been a lot easier for providing a defense if he said he remembered things that he says he does not.
All right.
With the verdict, the jury awarded $250,000 to Jaden, the daughter of Christian Griggs and Chisenhall's daughter, Katie. The Griggs family now hopes the civil verdict will lead to a criminal case, which never happened.
The truth is out there, and now I challenge DA Stewart, Sheriff Coates, Governor Cooper, Josh Stein to look into this case, because Harnett County needs help.
Now, Harnett County investigators decided not to pursue a criminal case back in 2013. With this civil decision, it remains to be seen if any law enforcement will take another look at the evidence. Deborah.
We'll see what happens. Cullen Browder, thank you. You can read all of our reporting on this case in a special section on our website, WRAL.com/fear.
A Wake County grand jury has indicted a former highway patrol supervisor for lying about the use of force in the Chiron Hinton case. The incident was caught on video in April of the officer's body cam and the dash cam video. Rodney Goswick, a supervisor, has been charged with obstruction of justice and conspiracy to commit obstruction of justice. Also indicted by the grand jury, former troopers Michael Blake and Tabitha Davis. They were previously charged with assault. All 3 are accused of lying to the highway patrol about what happened during the investigation.
The Robeson County Sheriff's Office is investigating after skeletal remains were found. A surveying crew found the remains near the CSX railroad tracks yesterday afternoon on Heritage Road in Lumberton. Anyone with information is asked to call authorities. 4 people are in the hospital and a driver is charged after a school bus crash in Sampson County. The Midway Elementary School bus was driving on Dawson Road in Dunn this morning. Authorities say the bus was turning left when a car tried to pass the bus and ran into the side of it. 3 students and the bus driver were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The driver of the car was charged with improper passing.
And now let's take a quick look at the school closing and delays that we have had coming in for the last couple of hours. Chapel Hill Carborough schools, they will be delayed 2 hours. Chatham County schools delayed 2 hours as well. And Durham Public Schools also delayed 2 hours, along with Granville County schools. As we move through the list, we take a look at Mecklenburg County schools, also delayed 2 hours. Orange County schools will be delayed 3 hours. Person County schools, with all the snow out there, they will be closed for tomorrow. Warren County schools delayed until 10 a.m. And just a note, Wake County schools will be on a regular schedule tomorrow. A live look now from Roxborough. A little chilly, but at least the snow is gone there. Now we have a little bit of rain on the way. Chief Meteorologist Greg Fischel tells us when to expect it. Greg?
All right, Brad, and we're looking at mainly Friday being the big rain day out of the next 7, and we'll talk about that, of course, more in our regular weather segment. But in terms of temperatures right now, we are cooling down. South Hill, Virginia at 33 right now, Clarksville at 37, 36 at Lewisburg, 39 at the Raleigh-Durham Airport. And then as we head south where there is no snow on the ground, then you can see the temperatures are in the 40s for the most part. So the snowpack really has a huge effect on temperatures. It reflects incoming solar radiation during the day and also radiates very effectively to space at night. So as far as our forecast for tonight, temperatures likely to drop down into the upper 20s to mid 30s. The clouds will actually be increasing a little bit as the night goes on, preventing it from dropping too much more than that. But this is still just enough to create some isolated black ice instances. So we just urge you to exercise common sense. Be careful in the morning. This will be the last morning we have to worry about this, as temperatures will be above freezing constantly, day and night, once we get above freezing tomorrow morning, right on through the weekend. More on that weekend forecast coming up in just a little bit. Back to you.
Greg, we will check back. Thank you. The Russian military and a $150 million kickback scheme. That's just one of the new information now released today about the owners of the Raleigh mansion, raided last week by the FBI. WRAL's Amanda Lamb live with new details and 2 new arrests in the case. Amanda?
Brad, it's a complicated case. There are 5 people charged. They are all Russian. And we learned more about this case today at a hearing here at the federal courthouse. Alexei Polyakov was in federal court this morning for lying about his criminal past when applying for citizenship in the U.S. But what we learned today about 2 other co-defendants, Tanya and Leonid Tafe, grabbed headlines. The FBI raided their North Raleigh multi-million-dollar home last week. Both face money laundering charges. Investigators say they profited off a $150 million kickback scheme involving a contract with the Russian military to purchase their home. Bank transactions show the couple bought nearly $400,000 worth of Mercedes-Benz vehicles and spent $2.5 million on artwork from a New York gallery. In addition, Leonid Tafe faces murder for hire charges. He is accused of wanting to kill his housekeeper's son because he thought he was having an affair with his wife. Now, 2 more people were charged that we learned about today, the housekeeper and the housekeeper's husband. They are dealing also with money laundering charges, and the court cases continue. We expect the Tafes to be in court here at the federal courthouse on Friday. Back to you.
Amanda Lamb, live in Raleigh. Amanda, thank you.
Deputies are taking drug dealers off the streets in a North Carolina roundup.
In my opinion, a drug dealer is a violent offender. When you're dealing heroin, you're dealing death.
We'll show you what deputies deemed Operation Silent Night coming up, plus new access to healthy food for North Carolina patients, how a Raleigh hospital is joining in on the cause.
Deborah and Brad, tonight, Donald Trump's ex-personal lawyer sentenced to prison as another former ally of the president offers potential criminal evidence against him. Plus, China accused in the recent Marriott hotel hack, what U.S. officials say they were looking for. On NBC Nightly News after WRAL News at 6.
New hotels cannot be built fast enough in Raleigh. Demand for hotel rooms keeps going up even as new hotels come online. The Greater Raleigh Convention and Visitors Bureau found hotel occupancy in Wake County is doing better than the national average. Several key events improved tourism in Raleigh in the 3rd quarter of 2018, including Wide Open Bluegrass and Raleigh SuperCon. U.S. executives believe a recession is coming in late 2019. 83% of U.S. CEOs agree it will happen before the end of 2020, according to a study from Duke University. The optimism index for the U.S. economy slipped to 66 this quarter compared to an all-time high of 71 last quarter. Despite concerns over a recession, the survey found businesses are still planning to do a fair amount of hiring.
WakeMed will be the first health system in North Carolina to launch a mobile patient engagement act. This is an app. It's going to offer a GPS-like experience for visitors and patients. It will offer turn-by-turn directions, guiding your way from home to the parking spot to the point of care inside any WakeMed site. Patients also will be able to access their medical records with that app. And UNC Rex Healthcare is opening a new food pantry to support patients and access healthy food. It's one of the first food pantries operated by a community hospital in North Carolina. and one of only a handful across the country. The project is a partnership between UNC Rex, Food Lion, and the Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina.
It's a phone call scam shaking victims to their core, including a local couple who lost $6,000 to it.
We're just beside ourselves. We don't, it's like, this is just, how could this happen to us? This is unbelievable.
Tomorrow night at 6, 5 on your sides, Monica LaLiberty shares why so many people are falling for it, fearing what will happen if they don't do as they're told, and how it has people on their phones driving all over town. That's tomorrow at 6.
More than 60 people arrested in a Nash County roundup. WRAL was alongside for the ride. Next, who deputies busted in Operation Silent Night.
Monica LaLiberty in the Live Center with breaking news out of Washington, D.C. After months of negotiations, lawmakers in the House and Senate just reached an agreement on how sexual harassment claims are going to be dealt with. It would hold members of Congress personally liable for awards and settlements that stem from harassment and related retaliation they commit. It includes those who leave office and they cannot pay using taxpayer funds. Back to you.
Thanks, Monica. Local sheriff says heroin is killing too many people, and he's determined to fight the epidemic.
Today, the Nash County Sheriff's Office joined other local agencies for a roundup of people wanted on drug charges, calling the operation Silent Night. It follows a 6-month investigation. Brian Mims rode along as officers made their arrests.
The Dodge Charger fires up well before sunup. Detective Jeff Sherrod and other deputies from the Nash County Sheriff's Office head north on I-95, bound for Battleboro and a brick home on Owens Circle.
Good morning.
They have come for Crystal Crandall.
What is going on?
She's wanted on felony charges of possession with intent to sell and deliver heroin. She's handcuffed as a little girl in the house leaves for the bus stop.
Have a good day.
They're also here for Devontae Bell.
Got nothing on you, sir.
He, too, has a warrant for heroin possession.
Oh, my, no, sir, I never touched it.
From here, it's off to the magistrate and to jail.
Across America, there's more deaths coming from opioids and heroin than probably any other drug.
Sheriff Keith Stone says at least 30 of the more than 50 people targeted in this roundup face heroin charges.
In my opinion, a drug dealer is a violent offender. When you're dealing heroin, you're dealing death. These people have a very lucrative business.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The next stop for Detective Sherrod is this mobile home off South Church Street outside Rocky Mount.
Tell your mom and daddy, come here.
On the other side of the door, 3 small children sit on a couch. In a bedroom is Stephon Sears, charged with possession with intent to sell and deliver cocaine.
Wait, what's this?
He walks out in disbelief.
This is crazy as a mug.
And then there's this home on Mount Zion Church Road where officers get a search warrant and haul out
AK-47 type weapon and also a Uzi type pistol.
Maurice Mitchell, who lives here, is booked for selling and delivering cocaine, while next door Michael Beckman is also cuffed on cocaine charges.
Some of these people that we arrest will turn their life around. Some of these people will just slow down for a little while. Some of these people will go right back to doing what they were doing before.
He just hopes this day that began before sunup will lead to nights that are more silent. Brian Mims, WRAL News, Nash County.
And that is the inspiration for the name of the operation. Law officers hope getting these suspects off the streets will make for a quieter holiday.
Only one more day for Hurricane Florence victims to apply for assistance. December 13th is the last day to apply for federal disaster relief. The deadline applies to homeowners, renters, and business owners for low-interest loans. Even if you have insurance, FEMA still encourages you to apply. You could receive assistance to cover what insurance will not. For more information on how to apply, go to WRAL.com.
All right, are we in for a more silent night this evening?
Not sure. I'm sorry. I wasn't sure where you were going with that. Yes. The one nice thing, one of the many things I like about snow is just how it deadens the sound of everything. That it just makes it very, very quiet and very pretty.
Yeah.
33 degrees in rain is miserable and ugly, and it's noisy.
Yes, it is.
So those are the advantages. But I also realize it gets in the way of people getting where they need to go. So that will not be an issue once we get past tomorrow morning, when temperatures go above freezing and should stay above freezing constantly for several days. Something to look forward to there. All right, let's go on ahead and check out the WRAL Gardens. We still do have a fair amount of snow left over there, not the 5 or 6 inches that we had on Sunday, but certainly enough to whiten things up. As we take a look at temperatures right now, you can see that it is 39 at the Raleigh-Durham Airport, 39 also at Rocky Mount, mid-30s up near the North Carolina-Virginia border. But where there is no snow on the ground, and really for the most part never was, these areas down in here are considerably milder. Here's the satellite and the radar mosaic, just mainly some high clouds, and they're not just high, thin clouds. They're actually fairly thick high clouds moving across the area. So when the radiation tries to leave the Earth's surface and get out into space, some of those clouds intercept that radiation and keep it held in. And so temperatures tonight will be a little bit warmer than they would be otherwise. These are rather innocent high clouds in here. There's not a lot of precipitation associated with that, but these systems coming in off the west coast do have precipitation with them. And when they get into this position here in the southern plains, the Gulf of Mexico will say, use me, and they will. And that moisture is going to come racing out of the Gulf of Mexico and eventually the Atlantic as well, and produce a soaking rain event across the southeast quadrant of the United States. So here's the rainfall potential, and this is Friday through 8 o'clock in the evening. So the ½ line basically is covering all of our viewing area, the 3/4 of an inch line going across eastern Wake County down into Johnston County, and then the 1 inch line up here to around Sanford and around Lillington, and then southeastward from there. Now that's through 8 o'clock. Then after 8 o'clock Friday night into early Saturday morning, there's another pretty good batch of rain at that point, with the 1 inch line running right through Wake County. So if you add that up, about 1.5 to 2 inches, and as much as 3 inches expected down here along the southern coast of North Carolina. But we think most of this is going to occur Friday night, and then Saturday during the day, just a few intermittent showers, and by Sunday, we're looking at virtually nothing, just a few sprinkles here and there, and so that shouldn't be a bad day at all. Maybe fairly cloudy, or at least partly cloudy, but at least it'll be, for the most part, dry. So mostly cloudy, chilly tonight. Watch out for some isolated black ice, and again, it only takes one to cause problems, so be careful. And then tomorrow, thick high clouds and a high of 48, and then the rain comes racing in on Friday and gives us another thorough soaking, especially Friday afternoon, Friday night into early Saturday, and then things should begin to quiet down to at least intermittent showers. Again, that looks like Saturday and Sunday are carbon copies of Friday. They won't be.
Okay.
Much less rain those 2 days.
Good to know. All right. Thank you, Greg.
But still, rain on Friday.
Sorry.
Rain or shine, they will play Friday night.
All right.
That's going to happen. We got 16 lucky high school football teams that get to play for a state championship this weekend. 2 from our area are not only the favorites, they look to add to their legacy. Wake Forest and Tarboro next.
WRAL Sports starts now.
Jordan Stahl has been put on IR retroactive to December 5th while he recovers from a concussion. Yanni Kuokkanen has been called up from Charlotte. He had 11 goals and 16 assists for the Checkers. Well, after the Canes' 4-1 loss last night, Captain Justin Williams made a subtle yet loud statement about what he saw in that game and sometimes over the last few weeks. Winning streaks, unheard of. They had a 4-gamer at the start of the season and then 3 straight in November. Not everyone is bringing it every night like a team of this caliber needs.
There's huge urgency. We're middling, which is what we've done in the past few years, and it's not good enough, and we need to get a string together. I keep saying that. It seems like every week we need to get a string together. This was a good game to make a statement and follow it up and push to the next level. We didn't get them.
Canes going back-to-back tomorrow in Montreal, then back home Friday hosting the Washington Capitals. High school state football championships will be earned Friday and Saturday. Our viewing area features a pair of teams that have built incredible programs. Jared Fialco spoke with the coaches at Wake Forest and Tarboro.
2 schools, 2 stretches of straight supremacy. Take Tarboro, who've outscored their opponents by 692 points. And oh yeah, have never trailed for any quarter, minute, nor second this season.
Didn't know it until you said that, to be honest with you. I really don't pay that. I pay attention to detail, but not to those type of statistics.
Wake Forest,
Yes, on, baby.
well aware of its now nationally recognized dominance, stringing together 44 straight, the third longest active winning run in America.
You do what you can to ignore it. I know our kids know it. I know the fan base know it. I know the media know it.
Historic successes that will one day be looked back upon and celebrated.
You don't get caught up in it now, because the minute I'm focused on that next win and not preparing for the game, that could be my next loss.
Because eventually reigns have to end. Streaks have to die.
Everybody wants to be the person that knocks off the gladiator, and everybody wants to be the one who slays the giant. If you don't think we're coming up here fully expecting to give that guy and that team everything we have, then shame on y'all. We're going to come up here and we expect to win.
But the Vikes and Cougs hope their dynasties last just a little longer. Jared Fialco, WRAL Sports, Raleigh.
Well, Campbell's Director of Athletics, Bob Roller, is resigning to become the National Director of Sports Marketing for Shriners Hospital for Children. He's been at the helm of Buies Creek since 2011. During that time, Roller has led Campbell's success in athletics, academics, facilities, and fundraising. He and his wife, Carolyn, will relocate to Tampa in January. The Shriners Hospital is getting one good dude.
Oh,
Very nice.
That'll be great for
Good
them.
luck.
Jeff, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. NBC Nightly News coming up next.
As we leave you tonight, a live look at one of our traffic cameras showing a lot of red lights out there, a lot of traffic on I-40 at Davis. We are going to keep a check on the road conditions for you tonight, so join us for the latest on our news at 10 on Fox 50 and at 11 here on WRAL. Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.